The Department of Defense is shifting its resources to ramp up efforts to combat threats from China. One America's Shane Althouse has more.
Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller has sent a letter to CIA Director Gina Haspel, informing her of the DoD's decision following an internal review into the CIA's counterterrorism division. The division in question uses DoD and military support to carry out clandestine operations related to counterterrorism, the kinds of operations which can lead to the elimination of major threats to the U.S., like Osama bin Laden or Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Critics of the move believe this elimination of support for counterterrorism operatives would pose a major threat to CIA operatives currently conducting missions all over the world. However, the Pentagon said the review into the CIA's counterterrorism division was aimed at determining if personnel detailed to work on those CIA missions would instead be better used on missions dealing with the threats posed by specific countries like China and Russia. And according to a DoD spokesperson, this falls in line with the national strategy put forward in 2018 by then Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis, which said the U.S. would begin transitioning away from counterterrorism operations and focus more attention on, quote, near-peer competitors. Critics of this latest move say this would undermine what has been a productive relationship between the Pentagon and the CIA, though news continues to break surrounding the threat near-peer competitors like China pose to U.S. national security. Just this week, news broke of a likely widespread honey trap espionage scheme, in which China sends spies, typically in the form of young women, to the United States in efforts to foster close relationships with U.S. lawmakers at the local and federal level. California Democrat Congressman Eric Swalwell made headlines after an Axios report showed he had began a relationship with a young woman by the name of Christine Fang, who turned out to be a suspected Chinese spy. Additionally, footage recently released out of a top Chinese political university shows a Chinese professor speaking to students about how easily they can manipulate U.S. politicians and even their family members. The Pentagon's new transition away from counterterrorism operations and towards efforts to combat widespread influence and espionage from countries like China marks what could be a major transition in U.S. national security policy going forward.